Jim Candy Part 4, Chapter 6. Once I left Popeye's, I walked along the Fremont Cut. It was a hot day. Sailboats were moving through the cut towards Puget Sound. I sat down on a bench by the bridge and looked out. My mind was going a million times faster than the traffic on the bridge. I could feel the rage coming. Only this time it wasn't directed at Russ Diver or anybody else. My rage was aimed squarely at me. The zits, the puffy nipples, they were betraying me. I hated my body, hated what it was doing. When I needed it to be strong, it had gone weak. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That sounds okay until the day comes when it's time to step back, and you find out it isn't okay. Bells started clanging and the Fremont Bridge slowly rose, allowing sailboats through. Traffic backed up, gulls wheeled in the sky. A huge sailboat glided past. The bridge slowly came down again. I walked back to the Jeep and drove home. At home, my dad took me into the yard and showed me how to work a power washer he'd rented. I climbed a ladder and washed the 2nd story, water spraying everywhere, drenching me. After lunch, I cleaned the ground floor, finishing at 2:30. I would have to let the siding dry for 4 days before I could paint. The whole day, the whole week, stretched out in front of me. And it was right then, almost as if by a miracle, my cell phone rang. "Hey, Mick," Drew said. "What's up?" "Nothing," I said, glad to hear his voice. "Really?" he said in disbelief. "You've really got nothing going? I thought you had every minute of the summer planned out. Workouts at your gym and work for your dad and all that." "I'm taking a short break from my workouts. I just power wash the house and it's got to dry out before I can paint. So I've got nothing going." "Well, that's great," he said, his voice excited, "because I was hoping you'd want to come hang out some, but I didn't figure you'd have time." "I've got time." "All right, then, here's the deal. Deshawn and I have been going to Green Lake in the afternoons to play volleyball with Natalie, Heather, and Kaylee. That group. Brad Middleton has been coming, but he's just left for Scotland with his family. We need another player." He paused. "It'll be fun, and Kaylee especially will like seeing you. She's got a thing for you, I think. What do you say?" "When's all this happening?" I asked. "Now," he said. "Well, not right now, but in half an hour. The big field, across from Starbucks." I felt like a drowning man in the ocean who suddenly sees a boat heading his way. "I'll be there. I can give you a ride if you want." "Thanks, but I don't need one. I got my permit last week. My dad will drive down with me. He wants me to get practice on the hills." So Mick is feeling down, right, because he doesn't have anything to do, and he has, separated himself from his friends. But Drew reaches out, invites him to go play volleyball with a group of them that have been going all the time throughout the summer to play, and they need an extra person because Brad's out of town. And Drew says, "And hey, Kaylee's going to be there. I think she likes you." And so Mick is excited to see his friends because he's feeling really down. Like, he hates his body right now. He has these zits everywhere. His body is puffing up, and he doesn't feel good about himself. And again, he could solve all that by stopping taking the D-ball, but he's not willing to do that. And so his mood lifts when Drew invites him to go play volleyball. First, I had trouble finding a parking spot near the lake, and then as I walked toward the lake, a feeling of panic came over me. I hadn't hung out with anyone for a long time. I wasn't sure I knew what to say or how to act. I considered turning around and going home, but Kaylee saw me and waved. She was wearing light blue shorts and a white tank top. Her hair was pulled back in a ponytail, and her whole body was tan and somehow seemed to glow. Heather and Natalie were there too, along with Drew and Deshawn. I joined in the large circle and tried to warm up with them. I felt useless until Kaylee took me to the side and showed me how to bump a volleyball. Sometimes I was decent, but about every 3rd hit would go careening off wildly. I felt certain I'd ruined the game for everyone, but Kaylee only laughed. "You'll get it, Mick. It takes time." Nets were set up for pickup games all around the field. The rules were simple. Win and you keep playing. Lose and you sit out. Deshawn and Kaylee were great. The other girls were good. Drew was okay, and I was up and down, occasionally making decent shots, but at other times fouling up easy balls. We lost more than we won, but nobody seemed to care. Around 5, we went over to Guyma's and ate nachos, and then we walked around Green Lake paired up. "See you tomorrow?" Kaylee said when we were back at the field. "Yeah," I said. "See you tomorrow." So finally, for the first time this summer, Drew acts like a high school student. He hangs out with his friends. He has fun time outside, playing volleyball, laughing, having dinner with his friends, exactly what he should be doing as a 16-year-old. Not spending all his time with adult men at the gym taking D-ball and spiraling into depression over how he looks.